Good afternoon and welcome into the Alexandra Bowling Club in Central Otago as we are bringing you now our semi-final in the Summerset National Mixed Pairs between Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy and Paul Price and Anne Muir. Tokomo and Guy out of the Victoria Club in Wellington, Price and Kensington, and Muir rather out of Kensington in Northland. So it's a Wellington v Northland semi-final matchup. That's after Tokomo and Guy earlier today defeated Nick Butter and Tracy Clark in their quarterfinal. Well, Paul Price and Anne Muir got the better of John and Cherie Bryan. We are underway on the first end of 16 in this mixed pairs semi-final. Brenton Vinasori here in commentary alongside Kevin Hickland as always, as we're seeing the last bowl of the opening end delivered by Laurie Guy. Holding shot, looking to add another to the count, but won't.
Laurie Guy, of course, a well-known player in the Wellington area, winner of 6 Wellington titles out of the Victoria Club. He's been a quarter-finalist in the New Zealand singles on 2 occasions. So certainly, and telling me this would be his best result in a national event, getting through to the semi-finals of these mixed pairs. And also with him, Sarah Tokomo in her 16th year from the Victoria Club, winner of 3 Wellington titles, and is a member of the Wellington side who'll be playing in the Inter-Centre event very shortly. And a few years ago was a semi-finalist in the fours, playing with Nicole Toomey, and the first end underway, and it is the Laurie Guy combination who are holding the shot as the Paul Price bowl just goes by. And of course, Anne Muir needs no introduction. Anne Muir, QSM, a life member of Bowls New Zealand. Also represented New Zealand in the 1994 games where she was bronze medal in the fours and won the New Zealand pairs, in fact, in the 2013-14 year in Dunedin, where they beat actually Joe Edwards and Val Smith, her and Caroline Crawford defeated them. Then in 2005 won the New Zealand fours and has been a major force for Bowls New Zealand in regards to the parabowls and blind bowls, been absolutely outstanding in that regard. Numerous Northland titles and really needs no introduction as we watch Paul Price all but draw the shot. Interesting fella, Paul Price played his first game of bowls 35 years ago, then gave the game up and has been back playing 4 years, and he's in the Northland men's side. He's won 6 Northland titles, a combination of junior events and open events, and of course was part of the Whangarei side here earlier on in the week, who finished 3rd on that extra end in the semi-final of the fours, and also currently holds the title as the winner of New Zealand Champion and Champion Fours. So a very good resume from the Paul Price from Whangarei, and there's no doubt, Brenton, that Whangarei has certainly been to the fore in this particular Summerset National Fours and Mixed Pairs. They've done exceptionally well in all events, and Victoria continuing on that very proud tradition of national events through in the semi-final, but their record has been outstanding over the last 10 years in national events.
Well, to have 2 Victoria pairings make the last 8 is quite incredible. When we had 199 start the week, 204 entries down to 199 when we started section play on Monday. So to have 2 Victoria sides make the last 8, 1 make the last 4, being Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy.
So as we watch Anne Muir play her first bowl on this, the second end, draws just alongside the jack, just goes by the first bowl of Laurie Guy's on the centre line, a couple of metres short, and Muir, though, sits just adjacent to the jack. And of course the other semi-final, that between Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra and Bronwyn and Roger Stevens. We'll keep you up to date throughout the afternoon.
You can see that just happening just a couple of rinks down from where we are. Rink number 3, our live streaming rink for the first couple of games today. We will move on to rink number 2 for our final later today between 2 of these 4 combinations which are currently in action in the National Mixed Pairs semi-finals. As the 2 players switch over, Laurie Guy and Anne Muir have had their first bracket of bowls, their first couple. They now come to their head, and 4 straight to come from Paul Price and Sarah Tokumo.
Sarah Tokumo will play her first bowl on this, the second end, after scoring a 1 on the first. Here is Tokumo on the forehand. Looks to be have a wee bit of speed on it, and it does. Goes by a couple of metres. Paul Price now follow that forehand. And Muir has drawn 2 shots.
If you weren't watching earlier in our quarter final that we were live streaming for you here on Sky Sport Next, you will notice that trees and some of the shelter at the end of the greens is certainly fluttering in the wind a lot more than you may have seen earlier at these Summerset Nationals when we broadcast the 4s, quarters, semis and final for you on Sunday. So a lot more breeze coming across the green. It shouldn't have a major factor on the bowls, you would think. Probably just making it slightly more comfortable for the players out in the green, and what is usually in the early afternoon very hot conditions here in Central Otago, what we've seen throughout these Summerset Nationals.
So here's Paul Price playing his second bowl, and Muir taking a keen interest in this bowl as it just crawls towards the head. Just needed to get in front of the Laurie Guy by bowl, Diffie and Muir. You see the blue bowls there of Anne Muir holding shot as Sarah Tokumo plays her third bowl, trying to get it to draw all the way back. Looks to have a good draw line as it makes its way towards the head. Has it got the weight to get all the way? No, it hasn't. Just going to drop a metre of weight. Certainly out on that forehand side. Certainly taking a very, very good arc to the jack. And here is Paul Price. This looks a better bowl from Price. Or is it going to run into the front? Needs to just get past. If he gets past, he's got a good bowl and he'll sit on the Sarah Tokumo bowl. It's well played by the Anne Muir player playing his third bowl.
Interesting, with both games we've brought to you in the mixed pairs, it's been male against female, both. A number of them have the pairings have been more male against male and female against male, but
so well played by Sarah Tokumo. Comes right back towards the centre line and sits just in behind the head on the centre line. It's the 1 shot to the Muir Price combination. It's got the hand signals of, I think, a bit quick. It won't be too quick though. It'll come back to the centre line. Anne Muir won't mind if it gets back to the centre line. So it is the blue bowl of Anne Muir's that's holding shot. And these gusts, it's the most wind that we've really had, Brendan, throughout, isn't it? That, and you're right. It's not horrendous wind at all. It's just gusting through. It's not really major.
It's just been a surprise because we've had so little breeze throughout the tournament. It's just different to what we've encountered and what the players have encountered. But obviously these players were out on this green this morning, so they've become accustomed to it. There's Laurie Guy on the backhand,
trying to get down to the
through that port. to the right of that red bowl. He's trying to come round, but he's going to land on it.
Or if he was to get to the Anmure blue bowl, that would also be beneficial on that backhand side to the Wellington combination. Let's watch Anmure play her first bowl. Paul Price has a great bowl here from Muir. In fact, it's a front toucher. Draws right alongside right on top of the jack. It's hard to get to. Laurie Guy
Going to have a closer look. Jogging, sprightly down to the head.
Well, his only result is with a lot of weight down through his own bowls. Be hard to get through that port to get to the shot. And just looking to see whether it's two.
Both these pairs have claimed quite major scalps on their way to the final day of the Summerset National Mixed Pairs. Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy beat Gary Lawson and Dale Rayner in the round of 16 at Alexandra RSA, while at Bannockburn yesterday, Paul Price and Anne Muir beat Seamus Curtin and Taylor Bruce. So 3 blackjacks all going down to these combinations here, which we are now bringing to you in the National Mixed Pairs semi-final. Looks under the line does Guy, and it's not going to change the situation. So now Anne Muir, chance to add to the count for this Kensington combination out of Northland.
Former school teacher and played a big part in sport in Whangarei in a number of various sports, hockey. And I think the indication was just 2, was it?
I thought it might have just been the
just
one, but
was it?
I thought maybe 2, but I'll wait and see what the scoreboard does say. So it was Tokomo and Guy who first on the board, but quickly have hit back Paul Price and Anne Muir. See if I can glance out the window there. And it was 2. Certainly looked like 2, didn't it? I saw the one finger put up. So 2-1. It is now Paul Price and Anne Muir. Kensington leading Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy of the Victoria Club in Wellington. And we've completed 2 of the 16 ends. The other semi-final sees Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra up against Bronwyn and Roger Stevens. Endeavour to keep you up to date with that one as well. And of course, still to come today from the Summerset National Mixed Pairs in Central Otago, we will have the final for you as well. See who picks up the final National Open title of 2021. Of course, we had our Summerset National Singles and Pairs at Carlton Cornwall in Auckland at the start of the year, where 4 titles were handed out. 2 fours titles were decided on Sunday here in Alexandra, and now the inaugural Summerset National Open Mixed Pairs.
So here's the first bowl of Sarah Tokomo, going by about a metre and a bit. Equally, Paul Price needed a metre and a bit of weight, and as Brenton rightly said, in their way through to these semi-finals, certainly both of these combinations claiming a couple of favoured big scalps. And this bowl of Price is also just going to pull up, came to the centre line, but needed a metre or so of weight.
Showing their calibre to get to the stage by betting the more fancied combinations, certainly earn their place in this final 4. And as you touched on, Kevin, quite the nationals for both Paul Price and Anne Muir, but particularly Price. 2 semi-finals, pretty consistent. Obviously, Claire Hendra has done the same. In fact, she made the final, of course, of the 4s, so she got a runner-up and a semi-final at the moment.
So at this point of the men, Paul Price would have the the most consistent.
Absolutely, yeah.
The two semi-finals.
Well, Craig Merrilees didn't get out of section play in the fours.
Correct.
Roger Stevens made the last 16, I think.
Playing with Andrew
he was playing
Kelly.
with Andrew Kelly.
Well, yeah,
so his last 16 and last 32.
The Saturday after.
So they made. And then trying to remember where Laurie Guy finished.
I think they went out the first playing with Lou Newman. I think, and they went out the first game of round of post section.
Yeah, that rings a bell. But yeah, certainly no one gets close to what Paul Price done. 2 semi-finals. Remarkable consistency considering the fields. 199 combinations started the week, and he makes the final 4, and a big field for the men's fours as well. 104, I think it was.
104 teams in the men's fours. There's Muir 2 down on the head, and this bowl of Muir's is going to be narrow, but it did get on to the Paul Price bowl, got 1 rolled out of it, would more than likely make second shot out of it. Laurie Guy now on his forehand. Definitely holding the shot. And just going to go, this may well count, breaking back to the centre line. And I would say would count that bowler, guys. Anne Muir now quickly into her work with the blue bowls on the forehand.
No mucking around on the mat, was there? As soon as the bowl came to rest from Guy.
It's going to get the jack. Just going to go by the jack. Certainly had reaching weight to the jack.
And another coat of varnish would have taken the jack, I think, there, or at least got a piece of it. Guy, likewise, straight to work. His third. This one looks like it's going to come up short. So it's just going to get round those bowls. It does actually get round those bowls. Just touches off them. And
that would count.
Yeah, it certainly would. So it should be 2 to Tokomo and Guy.
So Anne Muir now trying to reduce the count. Just going to depend on the weight. Certainly got a good arc to the jack. And this will be, it'll cut 1 out for sure. It is just the 1. I saw Sarah Tokomo just indicate there, just the 1 shot to the Wellington combination. And I'm sure Guy will just stay on that forehand. Just got to drop around that bowl on the draw. Laurie Guy, of course, always a Nationals supporter. We might get this bowl clean and rolled in.
Yeah, I thought that was played with a bit of extra weight.
If you got the bowl on top, definitely would have rolled that blue bowl of Anne Muir's into shot.
He was looking for that firm contact to get it out of the head. Just rocked it. As now Sarah Tokomo and Paul Price change over, make their way to the mat for their other 2 bowls of this, the third end of 16. Semi-final here at the Summerset National Mixed Pairs in Central Otago. Beautiful setting here in Molyneux Park in Alexandra. Yeah, it's a real sporting precinct. Cricket ground. It's a stone's throw away, along with rugby. There's netball and tennis courts as well. Aquatic centre. And Muir gesturing to Paul Price that a good arm's length short with his weight.
Yeah, very short there was Paul Price. He'd be disappointed with that on this, the third of 16 ends. And it's the Wellington combination holding 1 shot. And Laurie Guy get the bowl to come back. Brenton said the other day, normally doesn't work. I don't seem to respond to hand signals. Anne Muir indicating to Paul Price, draw down here on your forehand, on its way. 4th-year player out of, plays both at Whangarei and Kensington. Great attempt.
in Kensington colours today, along with Anne Muir. And bear with us, as obviously there's a players that haven't spent as much time playing with the cameras on, getting that maybe they're right on that centre line.
And just the one to Laurie Guy and Sarah Tokumo.
All tied up to a piece, 3 ends played. Semi-final of the Summerset National Mixed Pairs. And quickly on the mat is Guy, delivering the jack. Might have too much on it though.
I think he has.
Giving up the jack. A bit too eager to deliver the jack there, Guy. So Tokumo gives it straight back, and Muir will now dictate the length that she wants to play.
In the other semi-final, Craig Merrilies and Claire Hendra playing Bronwyn and Roger Stevens, and we'll keep you posted on that on that game as well. And I can tell you that it is in fact 4-0 to Merrilies and Hendra.
2 ends played against Bronwyn and Roger Stevens. Of course, we saw Craig Merrilies and Claire Hendra prevail, and a real heartstopper against Sheldon Baggery Howley and Selena Smith.
So the jack's on the 2 metre mark as we see Laurie Guy come by, get a touch just under the 2 metre mark. The jack is, Laurie Guy gets a touch on the jack, just moves it off the centre line. So the match right back to the 2 metre mark. And Muir on a good line as well. Going to sit on the Guy bowl. Yes, it will.
You can see why she wanted that length. Good first up bowl though from both players. Laurie Guy with that trail leg just sliding in behind.
Certainly under the line, but this is second bowl and is going to finish slightly higher the jack, but definitely under the line, greatly under the line. And Muir now try and take advantage of that with her second bowl. So the jack onto the 2 metre mark. It breaks its way down towards the head now. How's the weight? Certainly on a good line. This bowl of Muir's as well will come up about a metre short. Certainly on a good line. So Sarah Tokumo and Paul Price make their way back. I think see the backhand perhaps from Sarah Tokumo.
Yeah, you would think so. There's the light blue and Muir bowl on forehand side. And Muir, I think, has made her way for a bit of a nature break.
And on the backhand, as we thought, Sarah Tokumo. He got the bowl out on a good arc. How far is this coming back towards the Muir bowl? Is a good bowl from the Wellington player. The Victoria player draws and sits right alongside the jack. Well played. Paul Price, he'll follow that backhand. Draw shot of Sarah Tokumo, certainly very good opening bowl. And good attempt here from Paul Price. May just miss the line and weight a fraction.
Yeah, it's just the weight, wasn't it? Needed another metre, and that would have been perfect.
Looked a good line on the way out of the hand. And Sarah Tokumo get that arc in the bowl on the backhand. It'll come all the way back to the centre line.
Get the chance to really build a rhythm here with this playing in this middle part where you get 4 bowls in a row.
She was certainly on that great line again, but dropped away. And Muir saying to Paul Price, just draw around that bowl. It's a metre a bit out in front. You can come back from there. Well, he's given it got a good arc on the bowl. How far is it going to come back to the shot bowl? Is a great attempt. Is a wonderful attempt from Paul Price. In fact, sits right on the shot bowl.
Great response from Price. Tokomo laid down the challenge with her first. Now, here's her third. He's short with her second, just looking to draw around that second bowl, but looks like I might run into it. It does. Didn't quite have the weight. It was going to come up short.
So Muir indicating to Paul Price, just stay there on the draw. You can get around that.
2-all, of course, after 3 ends of 16. Currently playing the 4th end.
Looked slightly narrow out of the hand. Needs to get clean underneath to get a result. And gets the jack.
Oh,
no.
just misses somehow.
Must have been really
Applauded
close to getting
by
the jack.
Anne Muir, though, because that was a fine attempt by Paul Price.
That shot certainly on there to get to the shot bowl or the jack, or a jack trail, because there is an Anne Muir bowl behind the head as well. So Tokomo has got a bit of line, a bit of green with this bowl as it starts to make its way back, but again, won't have the weight. So Anne Muir indicating to Paul Price, you can play down there with confidence on that backhand, get underneath, you can get the shot bolt or the jack. Price on the backhand, on its way. Anne Muir looking closely at this, needs to get underneath clean. And again, trying hard to get underneath to the jack. As he got it this time.
Oh, 2 brilliant efforts. This time all he does is just get a slither of a touch on the jack. He touched it this time. Last time it somehow missed. And it wanted, obviously, that firm connection to trail the jack back to where they've got the bowls. But 2 great efforts from Paul Price. He gets that low 5 from Anne Muir as they cross over.
But you can see on the camera there now on the monitor, it's not a big line down. There's a fairly tight line down to the shot bowl, and twice Paul Price got down there. So Laurie Guy, the important thing for Guy is to get another bowl on the head, because Anne Muir won't be frightened to attack the shot bowl for sure. And playing out to the Sarah Tokomo bowls. And
it's worked out all
another
right.
bowl on the head. There's the opportunity now, of course, for Anne Muir to play tight down that line. Just wait, get that jack. There's 3 bowls waiting back there. And she certainly got that with some weight to reach, that's for sure. Coming down towards the head now to the jack. Got one of the
to one of those short bowls and then rocks the previous bowl of Guy's. So she got one more opportunity. Holding 1 still, Tokomo and Guy.
She won't mind that, Brendan, because it's with removing that bowl, it just opens that vision up to get down to the shot bowl.
Changing hands.
Changing hands, yeah.
On the forehand. Just looking to get amongst, I think, those bowls of...
Oh, it's a good bowl,
yeah,
right on the 2 metre mark.
Oh, right where he needs to be.
Top bowl.
So now the trail's not really there.
It's more direct jack in the ditch type shot now. So with that weight and line, will it hold up for Anne Muir?
Doesn't look like it's going to.
Needs to get under this bowl clean.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, it gets a touch on it. And sits on one of the Guy bowls. So 1, 2, Tokomo and Guy. It's now 3-2 they lead after 4 of the 16 ends. Tight start to this contest. The other semi-final going the way so far of Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra. It's 4-1. Merrilees and Hendra leading Bronwyn and Roger Stevens after 3 of the 16 ends. So we're pretty much a whole end ahead in our semi-final. 3-2, Tokomo and Guy leading Price and Muir. As the jack's given away again
There's a lot of that over this morning, Brendan, hasn't it?
Yeah, we saw it a few times in our quarter-final between Merrillys and Hendra and Baggery, Howley and Smith, and now in our feature semi-final, twice by the Victoria combination, Tokomo and Guy, once by Guy, now by Tokomo as they give up the jack. It is Paul Price who gets to dictate the length.
And they're playing this just about a couple of metres out from the 2 metre mark, so still 3/4 length head as we see Sarah Tokomo. Laurie Guy applauding this bowl. Just going to finish jack, just under the jack, but certainly very close to the jack. So Paul Price following the bowl, a bowl on his forehand. Just going to depend on the weight. Certainly hasn't got the weight to reach the shot bowl. It's going to be a couple of metres short. And the in-descender, Sarah Tokomo was telling me this is her first time in the full Wellington side. And Laurie Guy applauding the second bowl, which is over the head. Always happy with that after you put one adjacent to the jack.
We see being the host centre as well, Wellington. They'll have big expectations for the inter-centre. A number of their players have excelled at national events in recent times.
It's a bit effort here from Paul Price. Good correction, goes by the jack by about a metre and a bit. But
right on that centre line.
Right on the centre line, over the head.
Both his bowls, in fact, pretty much right on the centre line. Got the right line, just the weight was well short with his first.
So we'll be here, of course, all afternoon, bringing you both the semi-final, of course, and then you'll have the final and the last event, of course, in the Summerset National Fours and Mixed Pairs here at Alexandra in Central Otago. And again, a big thank you to Tamara and Erin and the team who put all of this work together to be able to bring this production, this live event, so you can all watch it and enjoy. They do a wonderful job. They put a huge amount of hours getting everything all prepared and ready. So a big thank you to Tamara and Erin, who do all the events we cover right around the countryside. They're at hand doing all the hard work.
Yeah, certainly are, and I suppose makes it even more important when we're not able to allow fans into the Alexandra Bowling Club or any of the clubs that were hosting post-section or section play on Monday and Tuesday as well because of the alert level 2 restrictions. So it's great that we're able to bring this to you wherever you may be, if you have been here for the Summerset Nationals in Central Otago or anywhere around New Zealand or in fact around the world. I hope you are enjoying our coverage.
And the Laurie Guy bowl just coming to rest him behind the jack, and Paul Price indicating to Anne Muir just needs really a couple of rolls on her first bowl. Was certainly on target to draw to the jack. So here's Anne Muir with her second bowl of 4. Again on a good line. How's the weight? Is it going to get all the way to the jack? Oh, only needed again. It's on a perfect track to the jack.
Yes, you can see her quality, can't you, Anne Muir? Obviously former New Zealand international, former New Zealand coach as well. Very, very good player. And that style and talent never leaves you.
I got no idea how many Northland titles Anne would have, but
Countless.
A lot.
Yeah.
Started bowls in Auckland, actually.
Herne Bay, I think it was, something like that.
I think I had the honour a few years ago as a complete surprise to Anne. They put together at the club This Is Your Life evening. And close this time is Muir. No, it's not just going to...
Well, all of it good, haven't they?
Last metre. And the Kensington Club put on This Is Your Life evening, which I had the pleasure of speaking, emceeing at it, and a number of Anne's bowling friends, compatriots from the past, made their way to Whangarei, and Anne didn't know that this event was coming.
Right.
It was a surprise night for her, and it was certainly great to be able to honour Anne Muir for her service to the game, from club level right through to international, and of course with our para and blind bowlers, where Anne's done, well, she might get a bit of luck here, does she? Well, they've certainly got a few bowls around the head there, Brendan, haven't they?
Yeah, all of Anne Muir's bowls, those light blue bowls.
Well, now with Paul Price having the deepest bowl right on the 2 metre mark, they can afford to change hands now and play down with weight to the black bowler Sarah Tokomos, and at the same time may get connection on the Laurie Guy bowl as well. So certainly a scoring opportunity here, depending what Sarah Tokomo does here with her first of the last 2 bowls for her on this, the 50 end.
Tokomo just listening into those instructions from Laurie Guy. Has worked out after taking a long look at the head. Best to play here. A bit of a slap of the thigh would usually suggest maybe hasn't quite got the weight right. Yet, well, overcooked it.
Well, playing really to the deepest part of the rink, as we predicted, Brendan, because it's obvious now that the attack is going to come with weight on that backhand side. Just need Laurie Guy to move a fraction. Looked wide out of the hand from Paul Price, but we'll see in but a moment. Gets a feather and got the kill.
Kills it. So, next best result for Price and Muir was just that.
I was off target to get the main result, but
exactly.
But managed to career across the green and collect the side bowl, which went on to the jack and killed the end.
So they'll pick up their last bowls. We'll Sarah Tokomo and Paul Price, and we will replay the 5th end. Surprisingly, didn't see any replays in our quarterfinal this morning.
No, there was not. It was no, there was none at all.
Quite rare. We've seen a lot, obviously, throughout these Summerset National Fours and the Summerset National Mixed Pairs, which have followed. We are new to the game of bowls, of course. The end is replayed if the jack is spat out the side or the confines of the green. It's called killed, the end being killed. So there's no score from that previous head. We just go again. And since all the bowls were down that end, all but 2, they've decided to play the 5th end back this way. Much shorter end now. Sarah Tokomo placing the jack. Too short though with her first. She tries to adjust the shorter length end. See who finds the weight the quickest. Good line though from Tokomo, just not the right weight. Now Price. The backhand.
Good opening bowl here from Price, just sits in behind the jack after the Tokomo bowl was short of the jack and finished on the centre line. So Sarah Tokomo will certainly want to endeavour to make amends with her second bowl on this, the replay of the 15. This is a good effort, really good effort here from the Wellington player, and draws right alongside the jack. That'll be the shot.
Update from the other semi-final, and it's now 4 apiece. Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra up against Bronwyn and Roger Stevens.
So here now is Paul Price trying to rest down to the shot bowl Going to do so. Got a bowl tucked in just behind the jack, just off the centre line. And Sarah Tokumo holding the shot, sitting right on the jack.
At the same stage as this semi-final, 4 ends played, 4 apiece. Merrilies and Hendra and Stevens, Bronwyn and Roger.
So Laurie Guy may well go to the forehand to give cover on that side from where that, and that's where he's going. Try and sit on the Price bowl to give some cover on the trail. So then Muir get to the jack or sit on the shot bowl. It's exactly what Guy's endeavouring to do. Looks to be on a fairly good line to sit just by the bowl, goes past it slightly. So interesting. And Muir on the forehand.
Laurie Guy.
Rest time.
Been long days for some of the team here, Kevin.
Yeah. So
there's a nice little bed set up almost in our little office.
Laurie Guy just going to fall short. I was surprised, in fact, that Muir did elect to play her forehand with her first, now going to the backhand, because that certainly looks where the trail or sit options are on that backhand, to sit on the Sarah Tokumo bowl or get a touch on the jack. Muir bowl needs to come back to the jack and sits just higher. The jack had only had the right weight, just a fraction wide. So Laurie Guy just wanting to draw into where that Paul Price bowl is sitting. Just going to sits inside one of the two bowls. Europe sure will try and tighten that line up to get to the jack. And it's on its line, underneath the line, in fact. Might get a bit of a generous slide, and it did, but not enough to get all the way down to the jack. Still one shot to the Wellington combination, who lead 3-2 after 4 ends. Laurie Guy determined to get some cover of that trail possibility. This is going to draw quite a way back. This bowl of Guy's gets past, sits inside the bowl. It's well played by Laurie Guy. That makes it the scoring options a wee bit harder now. So Muir trying to reach down to the shot bowl or the jack. Had another yard of weight, but was on the wide side going through, and will be the deepest bowl. So Sarah Tokumo now actually Brendan can follow the bowl down, and if she was to get a slight draw trail, she'll make 3 of that now with her bowl on the backhand side. Just a touch of the jack, and it would be sit in between what is now the shot bowl and the Laurie Guy bowl. So
no doubt that's what they had a quick chat about, is both combinations. Pause for a quick look at the head together. Both Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy, and Paul Price and Anne Muir. Tokumo has a clear idea what she wants to do. Try and do just that on the backhand side.
It's certainly the backhand option.
Just on the wide side, I think. It might actually push a Anne Muir bowl but into the head. Doesn't change the situation too much.
Not really. No, it's still there.
See what Paul Price decides to play. Fewer options.
Trying to reach down to the shot bowl on the backhand, and runs into
one of those wide bowls short. Laurie Guy there saying to Sarah Tokomo, yeah, still on.
Well, the touch of the jack still certainly on and favours the Wellington combination. Can make three of it just on a touch on the jack. Don't know if she likes with the body language. We can't see. We'll sit under the head though. So Paul Price needs to be under the line with a yard of weight, needs to be under that front bowl to have a chance to get to it. It's tracking all the way to the jack.
Away, and it gets the shot bowl.
And may have made two of that.
Maybe even three. Or maybe even four. Three. Three go up from Anne Muir. So what a bowl that was from Paul Price. As they were one down, turns it into three up. So 5-3 it is now. Paul Price and Anne Muir leading Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy.
Well played there by Paul Price, just coming down with the right line to get to the shot pole, turn it right out of the head and make three shots of it. So after 5 ends now, it is 5-3 to Paul Price and Anne Muir, the Kensington Club in Whangarei, up against Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy from the Victoria Club in Wellington.
And Muir placing the mat about a metre short of the 2 metre mark. The mat's majority of the way back, so close to full length end. That certainly was probably the favoured kind of length we saw in our quarterfinal this morning, that being between Craig Merrilies and Claire Hendra up against Sheldon Baggery Howley and Selena Smith, going the way of Merrilies and Hendra. If you missed out on that and have just joined us recently, Merrilies and Hendra, last report we had was tied at 4 apiece with Bronwyn and Roger Stevens.
And out on the wide side is Laurie Guy. The bowl's coming back towards the centre line though, and will go literally to the centre line about a metre behind, so that's certainly on that back end. Certainly, obviously that breeze there is assisting that draw back to the centre line. Anne Muir also now gone out there on that wider line. She saw where the Laurie Guy bowl came from, and you'll watch that Anne Muir bowl now breaking towards the head, just jack high, but certainly a big drawing hand out there. Laurie Guy now quickly into his work on the back end, the holder of 6 Wellington Centre titles. Great supporter of national events over the years. And
he's hoping to come inside that Muir bowl, but instead goes around the back of it. It's similar to his first. The line was pretty handy. Just needed to be really a third of a bowl narrower. That would have been inside that Muir light blue bowl. As their teammates switch over. So Sarah Tokomo and Paul Price now the mat after 2 bowls played by Anne Muir and Laurie Guy each. It's now 4 straight for Tokomo and Price. And Guy and Muir will return for their final 2 bowls. That's how it works, 2-4-2, and then you switch over. And those who played 2 and 2, they play 4 straight in the following end. If you are new to this format, that's why it's called 2-4-2 mixed pairs.
Just going by on that backhand was Paul Price. Well, the night he hit hard too much on it really. Had the good line. Sarah Tokomo on that backhand side, going up towards the town end here at Alexandra. And how far is this bowl going to come back to the centre line? Not going to have the weight to come all the way back. So there's the line now for Paul Price on the draw, just inside that last bolt of Sarah Tokomo's on the draw on his forehand side. Well, I'm surprised he's going to there when he's got resting bowls on the... But needs to come under the Anne Muir bowl. And will do so and sit just lower the jack for shot. Sarah Tokumo will now follow that on her forehand.
Just took a moment to gather herself after that bowl from Price. Maybe it slightly changed what she was trying to do.
This bowl just needs to get under the Anne Muir bowl and will do. Look at that, draws right alongside the jack, just lower the jack by a few centimetres. Definitely the shot.
Showing her quality, Sarah Tokumo. And extra time she took on the mat. Paying off.
I don't think he likes that one as Paul Price. That's going to drift way short and under the head. Sarah Tokumo, as Brendan said, just stands on the mat, visualises where she wants the bowl to break, takes her time. And just going to go by a couple of metres, but right on the centre line of the 2 metre mark. So the deepest part of the rink, they've got it covered.
They're cutting down the options, aren't they, for Price and Muir?
And here's Price now trying to readjust after his third bowl. And Muir likes this bowls it breaks down towards the head. And Muir wants it to get past the centre line and go, so she can attack that. The shot bowl makes it harder.
I think what Guy was perhaps gesturing there, if you are maybe a bit heavier and you come into the shot bowl onto the jack, we've got those back bowls.
They certainly have. Just going to die on weight and line, but it certainly is making the attack line to the shot bowl very, very challenging to get to it for sure. Holding one is the Wellington combination.
Bit of a chuckle there from Tokumo. Guy. He'll certainly be the happier of the two as he makes his way to the mat, holding shot and a few options to maybe make a number here. Muir is trying to work out a way how she can grab the shot.
So on the forehand is Anne Muir. And as Brendan said, it's not easy to get the shot here, I can assure you. And you're going to run into the Sarah Tokumo bowl. In fact,
that's not the result they wanted.
The result they wanted, but does give her an opportunity now on that other hand. But of course, the problem with that for the Whangarei combination is that they haven't got the bowls at the behind the head to be able to attack. You'll see there's 3 bowls sitting there, 2 of Laurie Guy's and 1 of Sarah Tokumo's. Now they're in fact, there's 3 of Laurie Guy's in behind there, and it may be that they might play their attacking shot because there's a holding 2. But there is a chance here for Anne Muir to get up there and rest on the bowls.
Yes, interesting. Do you go there trying to grab the shot, or do you get some cover in and try and...
Oh, this isn't far away. This bowl of Anne Muir is just...
Well, it's going to find a good home here.
It is. It's going to rest it amongst those, so that takes that...
option away.
Certainly does, because that shot option was there for Laurie Guy if you wanted to be adventurous. But laying 2 shots in favour of the Wellington combination with this last bowl of Laurie Guy's on the 16 to see whether they can add to the count. Not to do so.
2 for Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy, and we're all square. 5 apiece. Tokumo and Guy against Paul Price and Anne Muir. Victoria club for Tokumo and Guy, of course. Strong club out of Wellington, Kensington and Whangarei, Northland. As Kevin mentioned, Paul Price, member of 2 clubs, Whangarei as well. There's Kensington, but they're both in Kensington colours. Price and Muir this afternoon. Is where Fast approaching the midway point of this semi-final.
And they are persisting with the lower length of the jack. Definitely favouring the more shorter ends.
Worked for them last time. Why not try again?
On the back end now is Paul Price, 5-all after 5 ends. And Paul Price is just going to depend on the weight. It's on a good line to the jack. Gets a touch on the jack after the Sarah Tokomo bowl was really short. So Paul Price certainly took advantage of that and draws a toucher.
Yeah, apologies, obviously. Got players who aren't as familiar with the cameras. That one from Tokomo doesn't get back within the pegs. You have to bear with us as obviously players not used to standing off that centre line for our cameras. So from time to time they will be standing right in the way of our cameras looking at the head.
So Paul Price played a good bowl with his first, and Muir applauding this bowl as well. This is another very good second bowl from Paul Price, just in behind the jack. And two very, very good shots for the Whangarei combination as they change over to play their 4 bowls. Laurie Guy have to now draw down on the backhand.
Yeah, Sarah Tokomo almost looks sorry for her first 2 bowls. Of course, one of them not getting back within the pegs. So being out of play, especially when you compare those to Paul Price, right on the money, his first couple.
So Laurie Guy feeling more comfortable on the forehand. This needs to come past the short bowl of Sarah Tokomo's to get down to the jack. He's on a good line here. Is Guy, how's the weight? Going to pull up short of the jack. Was certainly on a good line. Leaves it just under a metre lower the jack. Ewan now will also go to the forehand, holding 2 shots. And this bowl won't be wide enough, it's for sure. It's not going to get past the very short bowl of Sarah Tokomo. Guy now only just missed with his first. Trying to get down to... He's going to just feather though.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get round there, could he?
Well, the good thing about that, Brenton, it does open it up now. There's a clear line on that forehand side now, down to the jack.
Paul Price standing a few steps wide, looking around to see what line this is on. Yeah. And it's going to come up short. Doesn't block it for Tokomo as he took a few steps to his right to follow that Amur bowl down as well. Guy isn't far away with his first couple, and this one
just
a bit narrow.
Yeah, narrow a line. It will just
has one more opportunity now. And Muir will look to try and change the picture if he can.
On a wider line, how far is it going to come back though? It's outside the Laurie Guy bowl. Needed to be inside it, so can Guy. He's got a triangle there really of those brown bowls. One out either side, short, one in front. Try and find the happy medium with his last bowl. On this, the Sixth End. On his forehand.
He's interested this time, I think. Playing with extra weight, but looks like it's going to come maybe just on the line unless he gets a bit of assistance. He does. Comes off one of his own, but it slides past. So those bowls of Paul Price remaining there No one's been able to get close.
Well, no one's touched them as yet, Brendan, have they? So, Amur, it's the best option, I think, onto the back end, because that's where her lead drew the counters for the head. How's the weight?
Just looking for a third here.
It's a long way away, but...
Yeah, I think that's maybe just the third. You would expect Sarah Tokomo to beat one of those, to beat that bowl. But Paul Price bowls, his first two bowls, hanging in there at the moment and looking very strong. Another update from the other semi-final. And it's Craig Merrilies and Claire Hendra and Bronwyn and Roger Stevens all locked up now at 6 apiece after 6 of the 16 ends. So two very tightly contested semi-finals playing out here at Alexandra Bowling Club.
And here's Sarah Tokomo trying to get to the jack, only just missed that, but that would be third shot, I would say, Brenton, where that bowl on the draw just dropped outside the jack line. Here's now Paul Price trying to add to the head on the back end, where he drew with his first two. And Amur got the traffic signal hands out. And
that'll be third now.
Just goes by. It looked like the indication from Laurie Guy, Brenton as well.
It could be 4 down here.
Is Sarah Tokomo then certainly trying to make amends? Well, she's certainly on a better arc to the head. This is on a better line to the head, Brendan. Is it going to get all the way to the shot? Is it going to get all the way?
Oh, great bowl. Great effort.
Certainly was.
And it's cut it to 2. Still, those Paul Price bowls remain there. His first 2. And he has a chance to make it 3 here. Again, Muir directing traffic. Want it to come inside that wide bowl. It does. And find its way around the back. Oh, it might only be 1 here.
Might be from that. Out comes the measure.
Obviously, our angle can be a bit deceiving. So that Tokomo bowl could have been huge.
That's a great bowl. A great saving bowl from the Victoria player. Going back again to the... 2 it is.
2 says Amur. So it is still 2, but still that Tokomo bowl probably cut out, we think, at least 2.
Certainly did.
So 7-5 it is. Paul Price and Amur now leading Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy. We've seen just the 1-3, haven't we? Otherwise, it's been 2s and 1s, especially for Tokomo and Guy, just 2s and 1s.
It has three singles and a 2. So Anne Muir deliver the jack to the town end here at Alexandra. And I don't know whether that's going to stay up or not. I don't think it is. I think that's headed as well.
Yeah, that was a wayward one.
It sure was. It was.
Don't expect that from Anne Muir.
It was wide and heavy.
She's shaking her head, going, "What happened there?" So think about how many jacks she would have delivered during her career.
The mat's been moved up from the 2 metre mark.
And this one looks like it's going to stay up. Well, maybe not. I think it might be finding its way to the ditch as well.
It has.
So again,
on the 2 metre mark.
Goes on the 2 metre mark. I suppose that's where he wanted it anyway. So
that's where they were playing to. So
too worried about that.
Yes, and Anne Muir, I thought,
gets to pick up the mat though. That's the important thing. She gets to place the mat where she wants it.
And I thought that Muir would take the mat right back to sitting on the 2 metre mark, and will now go to her backhand, leading 7-5 after 7 of the 18 ends in the semi-final of the 2021 Summerset National Mixed Pairs at Alexandra. Just going to fall low of the jack by a metre and a bit. Tokomo will straight away, or Laurie Guy will go to his backhand. certainly on the right line, but just hasn't got the weight to get all the way. Was certainly the draw line to the jack for sure. Good metre and a half for the shot to be drawn here.
Yeah, Paul Price gesturing as much to Anne Muir. Hey, had a quick look at the bowls behind her. Not sure if she has an order she likes to play her bowls or not, but she was happy with the bowl that she had in her hand and has delivered it on the forehand side, just trying to get it to hold up as Price.
Oh, it's fine. That goes by a metre on the 2 metre mark.
Shot.
Ivan Koshnich always used to put 4 bowls in a line and he was playing singles. And it was just a thing that he had. And
Guy might get a bit of fortune here, and gets a rub off a short Muir bowl, and that may be shot now.
So back to the mat. As we draw down with only one more match left, of course, after this, in what has been a fantastic Summerset National Fours and mixed pairs here in Alexandra and Central Otago. Brenton and I have waxed lyrical about all the hospitality and all the good things about it, and certainly has been a pleasure to be able to bring this coverage to you from the Central Otago region. It's been great.
It certainly has. Going to be sad to leave tomorrow. Certainly we've all enjoyed our time down here, based in and around Alexandra. But as I mentioned at the start of today's coverage, got the opportunity yesterday to head round to a number of the clubs and thoroughly enjoyed that. And to Roxburgh, Clyde, Bannockburn, Ormeco. It's fantastic. And Kevin Hickland had the opportunity to go even further afield as well, because there's some clubs which are a good hour or more away from Alexandra.
Yeah, what was it? The Waipiata Club. Oh, that was hour and a half. It was a pretty, it was a fairly long drive.
Beautiful drive though, right?
Oh yeah, out of the Manutado, and I met some amazing people. I met the people involved with the curling, the father of the young fellow who was the flag bearer for the New Zealand Olympic team in 2006 from Naseby. And I also had the pleasure of meeting up some other, because Mike Kernahan's wife Jan is from just out past Patiaroa. And so it was great to get out into the real hinterland, so to speak, Central Otago. So I think it's been good that people from Bowls New Zealand as well have made every effort to get around to, all of the outlying clubs and just put their head in the door, and it's been appreciated by all of those around, and that certainly we've all appreciated the hospitality that's been shown to us as well as we've toured around the greens of Central Otago.
Yeah, the hospitality continuing just before we started coverage of this one. Had a bit of venison.
Yeah, they're
beautiful off the barbecue. Obviously one of the treats in this part of the world.
Is Paul Price just trying to get past the Larry Guy bowl? Not quite. Of course, from Auckland's point of view, we're sorry to leave here, but we're also quite pleased to say that we've got on a plane to get back to Auckland tomorrow, with Air New Zealand, of course, changing flight times and flight schedules, etc. And so at least we know we're all booked on flights.
Heading into a lockdown, of course. You managed to avoid half of it, don't you? Or just over more than half of it. A few days of it when you return to Auckland.
So we'll see. Paul Price just trying to beat his last bowl, which was close to getting past the Laurie Guy bowl on his forehand. And going to just hang out on the wider side. Got a touch. And we'll go towards the ditch. It's certainly a full-length head, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty much ditch to ditch we're playing it here. Matt, looks like it's nearly all the way back. Not all the way back, and Jack on the deepest possible mark. 2 metres from the ditch.
Superb
that's a
bowl
great
here
bowl
from Sarah Tokomo. That's a magnificent bowl, right alongside the jack. And
that
that's
low five from Laurie Guy. Appreciates that as he gets prepared to go to the mat. There's a quick conversation with Tokomo. There's a big smile on her face. And Muir and Paul Price. Also a quick catch up.
Well, got to thread the needle really here, Brendan, to get to the shot. That was well played by Sarah Tokomo. Came around those front bowls and drew down to the jack. 7-5, Paul Price and Anne Muir of Kensington and Whangarei lead the semi-final. And it will be Muir that has the first bowl. Just to reach up on her forehand. Reach up to those bowls, try and get through those shorter bowls to make it count it. That's exactly what she's trying to do. It might just go by wide. Got a touch on in fact, 2 touches onto the bowls of Paul Price's, but needed one more roll to get into the head to make shot of it.
Having a look to see who's got second. They certainly have shot. There's a nod. I don't know if that means...
Or is that to say that we've still got holding 2 shots?
Yeah, perhaps.
It's good that the Whangarei supporters have all stayed on and they're here supporting their fellow Northland players. Laurie Guy will go by. So the shot for Amua now is to... will not really play there, Paul, to play to your own front bowl below the head there. If we got one roll onto that, it would just make shot of it. Yeah, that's the bowl to play to, the grey bowl. You'll see Paul Price just put his hand out to, and he needs one roll of the bowl, clean roll, and it will make shot of it. And you can see out of the hand, Muir looks as though it's tightened that line up to try and get down to those shorter bowls, but in fact hasn't done so. Looked to be out of the hand narrow. That's the way to play.
Misleading angle, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
From the camera. Looked like she had closed her hand, but it was well open, clearly. So she, in fact, went for the draw and didn't get the line right.
Yeah, I saw the old hand come in. I think that's always a sign that that's... now, Laurie Guy won't have the weight to tip his own bowl over in the front, and I think Sarah Tokomo was pretty sure.
So one's taken away. 2's taken away and confirmed. So 7 apiece once more. Very little separating these two. We're halfway through, and it's Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy and Paul Price and Amur all locked up. 7 apiece. Sarah Tokomo has the mat back for the Victoria Club out of Wellington, taking on the Northland combination, representing Kensington, Paul Price and Anne Muir. And we had a steady diet of just singles in the second half of our quarterfinal. We brought to you this morning, and it's Craig Merrily and Claire Hendry got the better of Sheldon Baggery Howley and Selena Smith in a very tight affair. Now, there's been the odd multiple 2s and 1s, but biggest lead has been maybe 2 shots, I think. We've had a 5-3 and a 7-5.
That semi-final, also the quarter-final this morning, 9 singles scored in the 16 ends.
Very tight contest.
So
it all happened in the second half as well.
It was. It was from, in fact, ironical, from end 8 onwards. It was a 2 on the 7th end and from then on it was singles on every end.
Yeah, it went down to the final bowl. In the end, it was a 3-shot victory for Indra and Merrilees over Gregory Howley and Smith. So Selena Smith has to wait to get that gold star. Has lost 2 national finals for her this year. She was in the final of the pairs, Dale Rayner, and then in the final of the fours here in Central Otago just a few days ago on Sunday.
So Paul Price endeavouring to improve on his first, and all he's going to do is run into the bowl of Sarah Tokomo's. So no one's really got the shot because everything's good metre or so from the jack. It was a jack level bowl of Sarah Tokomo's and one in behind the head. So have a little chat on the way over.
Yeah, not much was said between Price and Muir, but Tokomo and Guy a slightly longer conversation. Another hot day in Central Otago. Important you keep those fluids up. That's exactly what Paul Price was doing. It's great to see. We mentioned about how well some of the Northland bowlers have done, but just them being here, given how big a trip it is. I know it wasn't a huge Auckland contingent, given how far away Central Otago is, but to have such a big Northland contingent, considering the number of bowlers they do have, it's been great.
Oh, it's been like fantastic support from the Whangarei people from the Northland Centre who made their way down here. To credit to them to enjoy this experience down here in Central Otago. That shot, I would say, that bowl of Amures, it just came into the head. Laurie Guy now wanting to improve on the forehand on this, the 9th end. And looks to me as though that bowl's going to disappear under the line. But how long is it going to hold up? In fact, gets the jack, moves it around the corner, and more than likely moved it closer to what is a Paul Price bowl. So Muir chalking the Laurie Guy bowl. I'm sure Guy will try and tighten his line up, trying to get to the jack on the forehand.
He got to the jack last time, unfortunately for him, moved it towards Paul Price bowl.
And certainly has tightened that line up, trying to get down to the
pretty good effort.
It's a great effort. If he got inside the Sarah Tokomo bowl, he would just about have made shot of that.
Just needed to meter more weight, really. The line was good. Of course, playing off the centre line now. He's moved the jack.
So this bowl of Amures,
she's tightened up her line as well because she was wide considerably with her last.
Oh, look at this coming back to the jack.
Oh, great bowl and great adjustment. As you see the two blue bowls out to the right there of the picture.
Guy's got to attack this with some weight on the back end. Front bowl there needs to come under that with weight. It's exactly what he's endeavouring to do. Needs a bit of luck here, and or just, in fact, turn the bowl over, the Amure bowl over, and made it close. You can see on the screen there is the opportunity to play down there, reaching with a lot of weight.
The wind really buffeting through. See all the trees and the shades behind the rinks as well.
Paul Price saying to Amure, get down, deep down onto the rink, give us the back bowl, and that's well played by.
Oh, that should be 3.
It could be 3, I would say.
Certainly looks it. So a bit of work for Sarah Tokomo to do.
Well, she has to play with weight, Brendan, for it to hold up on that line. Otherwise, you don't play with weight, it's just going to, the bowl's just going to disappear. So she's just got to be confident and play down there with, well, as much weight as she feels happy with. And I would say the more the merrier. Because that's her best chance of it holding up. All the sevens, 7 all up to, we played 8 ends, but we'll see after this end.
Yeah, we're playing end number 9, halfway through the contest.
And yeah, rightly so on the back end, playing with a lot of weight to get the result, and just going to go by. Got the Laurie Guy back bowl, but it was certainly the way to play, and straight away Anne Muir indicating to Paul Price it was the deepest bowl on the rink on the back end, because Sarah Tokomo will certainly attack again. Was only really one bowl away from getting the perfect result, and they're going to come alive. I don't think so.
I was trying to come round, wasn't he? That wide bowl. It's just within the pegs of Laurie Guy, but didn't. That's too much of it now. Wasn't far away with her first. Tokomo just managed to make slice adjustment.
Closer this time.
Well, she's got the target, and the jack stayed there. It has.
The jack stayed in amongst it. Well, got to feel a bit. Well, I do feel sorry for Sarah Tokomo really, because she
got
played
the target.
Got the target completely, but it just didn't get to the jack.
So still holding one. Price and Muir. Paul Price with the last bowl of this, the 9th end. We're holding 3, now just 1, and it will remain 1. He couldn't draw a second there within the target area. So 8-7 it'll be now. Paul Price and Anne Muir leading Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy. Very little between these two. Hope to get an update shortly from the other semi-final.
So the jack delivered by Anne Muir was delivered into the ditch again.
Interesting that the scoreboard's saying 8 ends completed. I'm pretty sure it has been 9. There was that replay obviously earlier, but that hasn't caught us out, has it?
No, I don't think so.
I think maybe it just hasn't been turned over. That would have to be it.
So a lot shorter this end. This is a real short end.
Wow, well, we haven't had this today.
No,
so this will be interesting.
Very interesting this will be.
And it's all the way back. I like the tactic from Laurie Guy though, because Jack was given away, so they wanted to play long. Clearly does, and Muir and Paul Price, and Laurie Guy is saying, let's try a little short one.
So a metre low of the jack was Anne Muir.
Not a bad start though.
Oh no, it's a, you know, because they certainly haven't played this length, Brenton, for sure. So Laurie Guy, who called delivered the short jack, see what he can do. And is just going to run into the Anne Muir bowl. On the back end there is Anne Muir. On the wider side, how far is this going to come back towards the jack? Looks pretty good on the way back through, and it is. It's going to sit just in behind the jack. That's pretty good on that short end, that they haven't played that length before.
Yeah, and Muir will be very happy with that, considering she wasn't preparing to play a shorter length end. Guy, oh look, how's this for a
Well
bowl?
played, look at that, just drawing itself
Jack
back.
level, that's certainly shot.
Just drawing back to the centre line.
To dictate the terms on the shorter length end. We'll see how the other two players adapt now. All Price and then Sarah Tokomo.
So Paul Price, so test him out. Certainly hasn't played this length to date in this semi-final as we play, in my view, the 10th end. Trying to encourage it all the way back over their head. And of course the other semi-final is underway. Well, of course it's been played as well. And as Brendan said, we'll get a latest score rate update on that very shortly. Here's this bowl is breaking towards the head of Sarah Tokomo, just going to go by. Certainly was very close to getting the rest. On the backhand now. How far is this bowl going to come back? This bowl of Paul Price is not going to have the weight though to come all the way back. Certainly trying hard to, but will just fall lower the jack.
They've all got back pretty much to the centre line, haven't they?
They have.
The line's been pretty decent. It's just the weight control, which obviously very difficult on these shorter length ends. And so far the head's not too bad considering. This is a good effort from Tokomo.
Here, look at this as it comes towards the jack. That shot falls up, well, falls over.
I think it's still two.
Two, I would say.
Another beautiful afternoon in Alexandra, despite being windier than it has been since we arrived.
Just going to fall short. And Laurie Guy indicating to Sarah Tokomo, you're only a couple of, just to beat you last and have another good counter. It's on a good line again. Doesn't want to get the jack though. Doesn't want to get the jack, well she does.
That's not the worst result.
No, it's not, because
that's where their bowls are. Her bowl, and there's also a red bowl there of Guy's. So now I have to not only play to this short length, but play to a different area of the green as far as off the centre line.
And this is very challenging, Brendan, now with the jack being moved off the centre line. And there's a pretty good attempt here from...
Might cut the count. Yeah, two says Guy, so it would have been three at least before then. Got the line nearly perfect to Price.
So Sarah Tokomo staying out of where she drew the shots with her first two bowls, in fact. And this is another great attempt.
That's another great bowl. I think they'll make three of it. Just got a nice little kiss off the Amur light blue bowl out to the left of this picture here.
Laurie Guy.
Bit of work for Amur to do.
So it certainly is. Very difficult to get to, and that certainly looks like three, Brent, and that was a lovely drawn shot by Sarah Tokomo, coming around those bowls and drawing into that nice little port. And as you rightly said, a lot of work here for Anne Muir. Three down as we play the 10th. Muir on her backhand, trying to, and that's going to be too wide. Paul Price trying to really encourage it on. Good nightly, good weight. My goodness,
too wide?
Has come back.
Now, obviously playing to a different part of the green as well, off the centre line.
So that's cut two shots out.
Yeah, just one, says Tokomo.
That bowl came back a long, long way from to the centre line. Well played by Ian Muir. So Laurie Guy, ideally would like to rest the Ian Muir bowl. Got a turn out of the bowl would certainly be advantageous, but he's not going to. That's going to be short and under the line. Ian Muir will endeavour to, well, if he was to beat her last, she'd literally go close to drawing the shot.
It was not far away at all. Some big bowls, and Mewett looking for another here. Can she grab the shot herself?
Out on the backhand.
This time, didn't get the weight right.
Goes by. So Laurie Guy, big chance here. Turn the bowl over twice. He makes 4 shots of it. May as well play it with confidence, trying to get that result. That was a pretty good attempt. Really, was only a bowl away from getting the right result.
So 1 to Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy, and we're all tied up. 8 apiece after 10 of the 16 ends. I can't quite see. I think it is 9-7. Bronwyn and Roger Stevens leading Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra after, looks like, 8 of the 16 ends there. So maybe we've had a few killed ends over there. Hopefully get an official update shortly. It's just from peering out the window of our commentary position here at Alexandra. A big thank you to one of the sponsors of the club as well for building us our little commentary area, and also office for Bowls New Zealand staff throughout the Summerset Nationals down here, both the fours course and the mixed pairs, which are reaching their conclusion this afternoon.
Yeah, they've certainly done a great job, haven't they? The Alexandra Club looked after us splendidly.
Yeah, obviously a shame for them. They weren't able to bring in spectators since Sunday because of level 2 restrictions, but that has not dampened their enthusiasm for this tournament. They've been wide smiles every time we've seen them. They've come into the club in the morning and left in the evenings. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here.
So Paul Price now on his backhand. It's going to go by. And of course they've persevered with the shorter length as the Wellington combination. First bowl of Sarah Tokomo's was low of the jack. And Sarah Tokomo now with her second bowl certainly has brought that line in. It's going to go by a metre and a bit, but right on the centre line. And Paul Price, he needs to draw under that line, and he'll be close to getting shot.
So I can tell you, after an update from Alex Reid, it is Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra who are leading Bronwyn and Roger Stevens 10-9. 10-9, Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra leading Bronwyn Stevens and Roger Stevens. That's after 9 of the 16 ends. So a couple of ends behind us here.
As we see Paul Price draw a front touch-up with his second bowl on this, the 11th end. Scores all locked up 8-all in this semi-final of the 2021 Summerset National Mixed Pairs, where 204 teams started play on Monday morning in section play. And by goodness, there was some power pack combinations in those 204 combinations. But
yeah, eventually actually started at 199 after a few pulled out, of course. So 204 entries. But yeah, more than, I think it was 101 made post-section play, which started yesterday, and then now we're down to our final 8 and now our final 4 having had our quarterfinals this morning. Now semi-final action, and to be culminated with our final from around 3 o'clock, 3:30 this afternoon.
So it's the Kensington combination. Holding shot, locked right away on the jack. Second shot, you'll see the brownie bolt of Laurie Guy's second shot. The Paul Price bolt locked right on top of the jack. And trying to rest on the bowl is Laurie Guy. It's a good attempt. Going to run into his own, turns it in behind the head. Got a few balls now hanging around. Muir needs to just a draw to beat one of the red bowls. Coming down towards the head now. Is it going to go all the way by? It is. Just lower the jack slightly, which put it a metre past. Big chance here for Laurie Guy. If he can set the bowl and move the jack, he can really put the heat on. Hasn't got...
just under.
Just under. You can certainly... Not an easy shot to play for sure, but it's there to set the bolt, trail the jack.
Yeah, they've got those 3 bowls there. 2 red maroon bowls of Guy and the black bowl of Tokomo and behind the jack.
Well, Muir got this out on a wider line to try and get some cover on those bowls that Brenton was just talking about. Doesn't have the weight, so here's the chance for Laurie Guy. Make sure he reaches the shot bowl, gets to the jack, can get to the jack. This is on it. Oh, just going.
Just on the other side this time. Just on the wide side. Lands into one of his.
Certainly played with the right weight to hold the bowl up on that narrower line. And Muir now playing her last bowl of 4. And how far has this line been tied up? Needs to get inside her own.
Might run into her own. Although she gets a nice little deflection off it and makes 2 of it. It's not what she was endeavouring to do, was hoping to get some cover amongst those bowls and behind the jack. There she's grabbed a second shot.
What it does do for Sarah Tokomo, it does give her a vision, you know, of where to go to play under that bowl with a fraction of weight now. See that literally V line to get down there to where the shot bowl is.
Laurie Guy having inspected the head, giving a few options for Sarah Tokomo here. Looks to be talking about just what you mentioned there, Kevin.
On the forehand now.
Lines, I think, in the area.
Certainly is. Certainly is in the area. Is it going to get all the way or not? Needs to exceed. Even a touch on the back of the jack of the bowl would have been fine, because there's a couple of their bowls just sitting slightly over the head. Valiant effort by the...
He may have cut it to 1 as well, even though she was going for get rid of the shot bowl.
So going to be narrow, this bowl of... So now the caller's having to change the hand. And you'll see Laurie Guy pointing out there, well, we've got 3 bowls sitting out here. Don't think she'll be able to get the right result.
Yeah, with that bowl of Prices blocking up that hand a bit. This is where she needs to come from.
Certainly now with that bowl in front.
Still sticking with the forehand.
It's just a different line. It's coming now.
This is close.
Coming now to the jack, is it? It gets the jack, moves it right around the corner. And there's an Ann Muir bowl sitting back there amongst the Laurie Guy bowls.
She'll be relieved she's got one there.
That was a well-played shot by the Wellington skip.
2 very good bowls from Tokomo, that's for sure.
And not going to play his last bowl, obviously, was...
Oh, there it does come.
Paul Price, so happy to take the one.
Yeah, why not? Might have just done a bit more damage with a couple of bowls of Laurie Guy in the area. So 9-8 it is now. We've completed 11 of the 16 ends. That's Paul Price and Anne Muir leading Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy 9-8.
So Jack's been delivered. Of course, earlier today we saw Laurie Guy and Sarah Tokumo. They defeated Nick Button and Tracy Clark in that quarter-final. And Paul Price and Anne Muir defeated John and Cherie Bryan at the bottom end of the draw. And at the top of the draw we saw Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra defeat Sheldon Bagley-Harley and Selena Smith. And we saw Bronwyn Stevens and Roger Stevens defeat Ben King and Helen King in this morning's round. So that, as Brenton said, the semi-final between Craig Merrilees, Claire Hendra and Bronwyn and Roger Stevens. It's all pretty close as well. As of course this semi-final is 9-8 to the Whangarei combination of Paul Price and Anne Muir. 9-8 they lead after 11 of the 16 ends with no time limit.
Yeah, playing at a decent pace though. Been going for an hour and 3/4 now. So if there was a 2 and 3/4 hour time limit, they'd be right within that at the moment. They'd be fine. They wouldn't be worrying about the time limit anyway. So just had the one replayed end, which usually is a big factor in the length of games, of course, if there are a number of replays.
Yeah, 2 short bowls here from Anne Muir. She'll be disappointed with those. Now's the chance for Laurie Guy, endeavouring to get right on top of the jack and put the pressure right on the Whangarei combination. And unfortunately for Guy, no, looked as though it didn't have the white all the way, and he gets the jack. It's well played, 2 shots at the changeover.
Yeah, and look where Anne Muir's bowls are now, so short because of that trail of the jack. So nothing really to use of those bowls. They're just a nuisance now for Price and Muir.
Well, from their point of view, it's come to a one-hand. They certainly can't get the shot on the other on the other hand, so it's a backhand. It only leaves them a backhand option.
And 2 of their 8 bowls are not going to be a factor in this end.
So Paul Price, of course, a beaten semi-finalist earlier on in the 4s on Sunday. In fact, beaten on an extra end. And waiting for the bowl to come all the way back. It's not going to. Didn't have the weight to come all the way back. Well, Sarah Tokumo, she can really... The Wellington combination is an opportunity on this end. Very early on the piece to really put the pressure on the Paul Price and Anne Muir combination.
And the last 3 ends have just been singles. Been opportunities to score bigger numbers for both sides, but been cut to just ones. And this is half decent. It's going to be right pretty much on the line, just jack low.
Yeah, it counts there, and that's where the draw line for Paul Price has got to be inside that line to get to those bowls. But this is going to come under the line.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough weight, I don't think. Oh, actually, the weight's actually all right. It was just that might cut it to this one.
May well have.
Didn't quite have the line right. It needed to really just come in that wide bowl of his, isn't it? That's the line.
Absolutely.
Sarah Tokumo came round it. This time I think she's going to come under it, but is she too narrow? And she is. She might actually help one of those short bowls out of Price's and Muir's.
So Paul Price needs to get a bowl on the head really for the Whangarei combination. This looks better, does it, Brenton? Needs to get past the front. Is it going to? Yes, it will. And it should make second shot of it.
Oh, he's unlucky. He's unlucky. It's not far away at all.
Well, indication there from Laurie Guy. It's still 2 shots.
Yes, it must be that Tokomo bowl.
So on the back end. And here, this isn't going to have the weight to hold up on that line.
A more opportunity for Paul Price on this 12th end.
On the back end is Price. Needs to get past this front bowl, and he will.
Oh, head on hands there. You see from Laurie Guy. He was like, damn it. Great bowl from Paul Price.
That's certainly second shot.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
So, Sarah Tokomo again. Trying to add to the count. Definitely holding the 1. Good effort. Finished Jack level.
It would have been second if it wasn't for that last bowl of Paul Price's.
So, in 12 now. Skips will play their last 2 bowls.
It'll be 3/4 of the way through this contest. And no really clear on who's going to take this one out. This looks like it's going to go to the 16th and final end, just like our quarter-final did this morning.
Certainly looking that way, Brenton. On the backhand is Anne Muir. And Muir will endeavour to reach that shot bowl. That's the plan. How far back will this come towards the jack? Looking, got the bowl, turned it over, but not far enough, I don't think. Haven't looked to see who's got shot. Muir certainly made contact.
Yeah, one
That's
down.
a shot, well played.
Great bowl from Anne Muir. So she did do enough, according to Sarah Tokomo, to grab the shot.
Just got the touch on the bowl to get a roll out of it.
Update from the other semi-final. It's now going the way of Bronwyn and Roger Stevens. 12-10. They're leading Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra. 12-10 after 10 of the 16 ends. So almost 2 ends behind how we're going.
So here's Guy now trying to get to the shot bowl of the jack. He's chasing this bowl, trying to get it to come all the way back. Has it got the weight to get all the way? This is a good attempt too. This is a wonderful attempt here from Guy. Superbly played.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Laurie Guy. It was a fine bowl from Anne Muir to grab the shot back, and what a response from Guy to take it once more. Guy's made his way to the head to see what Anne Muir can do in response before he has the opportunity to play the last bowl of 12th end. On the forehand side is Muir. It's not going to get round one of her short bowls, unfortunately. Runs into it. It doesn't change the situation. Still 1 down on the head. And Laurie Guy strides back to the mat with purpose. Spring in his step. There's a chance here
that was well played, Brendan, wasn't it? That to come round there. And he was confident when he let it go. You could see he was chasing the bowl. He was confident from the time he let it go. Here's Guy again, holding the shot.
If he can replicate that last bowl, he can make 2 of it. Looks on a decent line. Has he got the weight? That's the question. Bit too much weight. Looked like a good corridor is following down. So 1, 2, Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy, and we're all locked up once more. 9 apiece, and we've played 12 now of the 16 ends. ask and you shall receive. Kevin Hicklet, thank you very much, Tamara. Just giving us some refreshments here. It's nice and hot in the commentary position. No doubt it's warmer out on the green though. Another beautiful afternoon in Alexandra. How many times has the game been level? Now, after 3 ends it was level at 2 apiece. After 6 ends it was level at 5 apiece. After 8 it was level at 7. After 10 it was level at 8. And now after 12 it's level at 9. That just shows you how tight this contest has been from the very outset.
Nothing in it, is there? Absolutely nothing in it. So, Sarah Tokomo delivering her first bowl on this, the 13th end. Running comes short of the jack. And no doubt we'll see Paul Price will go to his backhand. And just under the 2 metre mark is the jack. Oh goodness, this might get the jack cleanly on the way through. And he does, moves the jack right off the 2 metre mark. Oh, this is a test, Brendan.
It certainly is. Now this is truly a full-length end.
This is
Matt's not all the way back, but it's pretty much on the 2 metre mark. And now we see the jack well past the 2 metre mark.
And off the centre line too.
Off the centre line, and must be only a metre in from the ditch.
It's very try. It must be very testing. And this bowler said it took him. It's going to come up short.
The line was perfect, so just needs to make sure she gets the right weight with her next effort. She's right on the line of the jack.
Paul Price now really wants to get this, but he's just gone. Well, that bowler will go dead. In fact, on the other side of the ring, on that.
Straight away put his hands up, and he goes, oh dear.
Well, if you look at the ring now, Brenton, you'll see out for the 2 metre mark, you see another chalk mark, and then out to the right, there's another chalk mark out there. That really, on that hand, that's literally where your bowl needs to be at the break point. If you're at that break point there, you're virtually on the draw line to the jack. Anything outside that, and I think you'll stay out there. But
it's a nice little guide, isn't it? Obviously, it's one of the markers from when we play the green the other way.
Yeah, but you can see there, it's right down to that, on the break point, right to that centre line, or to where the jack line is now. So on the backhand,
we'll see if Laurie Guy can find that very mark. Oh, he looks narrow.
He's inside it.
See where it finishes up. It's not going to be too shabby, really, considering he looked quite under that line. It's a pretty fair effort. Weight pretty handy. Wasn't too far under it.
And Muir trying to add to the count. There's that line, Brenton. There.
Oh, look at that.
It's absolute perfect track on that jack line.
She found it immediately with her first. Trying to follow that line.
Well, he's on a better line with this bowl, Brendan. He's got more weight.
Certainly has more weight.
It's good hold, get the inside, get to the jack.
Oh. Laurie Guy.
That may well have made shot at his shot.
One down, says Paul Price. Wow.
He certainly had more weight, did Laurie Guy.
And he hit the target. He had to hit the target. Otherwise, he's going to be ending up in the ditch with that weight. And Jack is not far from the ditch itself, only about a metre.
So here now is Anne Muir trying not to be outdone. Not to be outdone is Anne Muir. Gets the bowl.
Oh, unfortunately, that makes it clear. It certainly is 1-2 Laurie Guy now. But this is great fun watching these two go head to head here.
Because she was certainly on line to get to that target. 9-all after 12.
Laurie Guy just holding his hat as a gust of wind just passed through that almost knocked over our screen as well in our commentary position. It's just been a bit of a blustery day compared to what we've seen previously.
Here's now Laurie Guy on his backhand. Now he's on that line now that we just spoke about, Brendan, but Doesn't have the weight, but there you can see where that break point is.
The good run had to come to an end, didn't it? It was
absolutely.
Great bowl after great bowl.
So Muir, give it a reach down to what is that counting bowl. Going to hang out with the weight. Sits on what is the second shot? The third shot, sorry. Yeah, it's interesting there with Anne Muir. Yeah, hold all tickets. The question is, can Anne Muir see the bowl on the drive? If she has, it's a good chance to go for it, because at the same time, on a drive, you get the jack in the ditch as well. Needs to break now.
Oh, that one just didn't come like the others, did it?
Oh, it's on Sunbury, and if you can go quicker now at the jack, you're down inside that line, and it's a matter of it, you can see the bowl cleanly from the mat. One to Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy as we come to the last four bowls on end 13 of 16. And we're locked up at 9 apiece.
And Muir had a bit of a discussion with Paul Price as they changed over. Tokomo, though, bowling first. Her last two bowls of this 13th end. They're holding shot. The Victoria combination. Can she add to the count here? Looks like it's in the area again.
It's a good bowl, regardless.
Oh,
that's a great bowl. Makes two of it. That's a fantastic bowl.
Oh, great adjustment. We thought this was going to be a hard part of the green to get at. They've made us look silly, because this has been some great bowls. Firstly, it was Guy and Muir, and now Tokomo. Let's see how Paul Price can join the party here. It looks narrower than the others, but it's playing with more weight, so this could be right on target.
Hold tickets here.
Oh, look at this!
And the
Paul
shot.
Price. Brilliant bowl. It was under the line of draw, but it was played with extra weight, and it was right on target. Beautifully done, Paul Price.
Yeah, Sarah Tokomo endeavouring to follow the Paul Price bowl. No, she won't. Will she? No, she's under the line.
Gets a slice of one of her short bowls. And now it's that weighted bowl's almost out of the consideration, but obviously Price doesn't want to play a weighted bowl now. He's holding shot. He can just look for the draw, which others have done so well. See if he can find the right line and add a second here.
Oh, look at this.
Is he going to run into the short bowl?
Oh.
Yeah, he does. Gets a slide up. Oh, gets a bit of fortune. Gets a bit of fortune. Comes off one Tokomo bowl onto a Guy bowl. Then makes its way towards the jack. Now, is it second? They've pulled one out. And Muir looking over, and just the one, she believes. No need to measure. I don't know if we've had a measure at all. They've all back their eyesight.
But the good thing on that head, that the weight that Paul Price played, he played that last bowl. He could get the jack, could get the bowl. Jack in the ditch was 3 shots, so, you know, nothing to lose. And, you know.
10-9 it is now. Paul Price and Anne Muir leading Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy. We've completed 13 now of the 16 ends, so just 3 to play. Of course, if it all's tied up after 16 ends, we will play an extra end. We need to find a winner here to find out who progresses through to the final later this afternoon, which we will be broadcasting here on Sky Sport Next.
So pick the finalists.
Well, so tight between both of them, isn't it? The last update we had was Bronwyn and Roger Stevens were up 12-10 after 10 ends against Craig Merrilies and Claire Hendra. But the update we had before that was that Mirrorlees and Hendra were leading by 1.
So who knows?
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen here.
So Enmuir finishes jack level on that backhand side. Laurie Guy just going to go by, but quite happy with that. Paul Price played that big bowl on the 13th end to score the 1 for the Bongaray combination on the backhand now is Enmuir. Here's her weight coming down towards the jack now. This is pretty good. That's just going to sit alongside the jack. It's 2 good bowls. You'll see the jack just low of the 2 metre mark. So it is full length or a good length head. Guy wasn't that far away with his first. Got it out on that wide side. Endeavouring to get that draw up all the way back. It's coming back now. It won't come back inside the Enmuir bowl though.
Yeah, unfortunate. It was on a pretty good line, really. Just needed to be inside that Enmuir bowl, and that was making its way towards the jack. So that changeover, Enmuir, perhaps gesture that she's get it tired.
Well, you know, she's, and I know how old Anne is, and let's just see she's played bowls for a long time.
Yeah, it's a polite way to say it. A life member of New Zealand Bowls, former New Zealand international, coached the New Zealand team as well, and as Kevin mentioned before, has done so much for Bowls in Northland.
Good bowl here coming in from Paul Price. Isn't going to get all the way, not quite, but was certainly on a good line to the jack. Sarah Tokomo just straightens the mat up, jumps onto the forehand side. And Laurie Guy,
he's interested, I think.
Is interested in this bowl as it's coming in towards the head now. It's going to.
It's on a good line, I think. Just didn't have the weight. She'll make the adjustment. We've seen that time and time again. Sarah Tokomo's come up with some big bowls in this contest. Everyone has, haven't they?
Well, that last year, you know, the shot must have changed. I don't know. Well, at least 4 or 5 times. Trying to get past this front bowl is Paul Price. Not going to, just tightens that backhand line up with 3 bowls now, all lower the jack. So Tokomo will elect to take rightfully the open side on the forehand.
Bronwyn and Roger Stevens now leading 14-10 over Craig Mirrorlees and Claire Hendra. 14-10 the Stevens over Mirrorlees and Hendra. And we've completed 11 of the 16 ends in the other semi-final. Yeah, I think so, from all the reports we've had. Yeah, it's been pretty close. It was 4 all, it was 6 all, it was 10-9 to Mirrorlees and Hendra, then 12-10 to the Stevens. Now the Stevens are up by 4. And still 5 ends to play in that one. We've got 2 ends to play this one after this end, as that's what he didn't want. Paul Price ran into a short bowl of Tokomo, pushed it into the head, and he's disappointed with himself.
Narrow and ran into the bowl. I saw Enmuir very quickly put it. She knew halfway up on that narrow line can pay the price. And Tokomo trying to get in past this bowl, cut the line off to the jack in the bowl. And Enmuir saying, right, play up to your bowls on the backhand. Make sure you're up. That's exactly what Paul Price is trying to do. He certainly tightened the line up to get down through there. Just saw it feather into the other Tokomo bowl. That might be 2 down, Brenton, is it?
Yeah, and another shot from behind the head. Hopefully it's not too obstructed by... Yeah. Sorry, Guy. Looking to get that that view right on the centre line, just like our camera is. Here we go, he steps aside momentarily as he now makes his way to the head.
Two it is.
Certainly two.
Well, the shot for Amur, of course, is down through that port with reaching weight, and of course has to play with weight because the tragedy of 4 short bowls out in front there just means that she needs to play under that line to get to the jack.
Yeah, there's a big 4 bowls coming up here, isn't it, really, in the context of this match, because it's a chance for Tokumo and Guy to really get a good number here.
Especially as with no bowls over the head.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So
with 4 of their bowls really out of play.
Muir's been around long enough to know that, and that's going to go.
It's going to the ditch.
So you can draw here confidently, trying to build to the head, holding 2. You can certainly jump to the lead. This bowl of Laurie Guy's.
It's not going to have enough, I don't think.
Breaking now towards the head, but
yeah, he's going to come alongside all those short bowls of Price and Muir.
Hat's come off. She needs to play this with definitely searching weight down under the line to the jack. That's exactly what Muir is trying to do, but how far is that going to come back? It's not going to come back from there.
No, it's going to be in the ditch again too. So now an opportunity. They're going to take the lead, but they're going to take the lead by 2 shots. 2 ends to play. If he can draw a third here, or even get rid of that bowl out to the left of the screen, which it might be on line to do. No.
It's on a better line.
It's going to draw for a third shot, is it? If it stays. If it stays, it might have just fallen out. Only 2. Unfortunate there for Laurie Guy. Good attempt. But they do take the lead. Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy on the Victoria Club in Wellington, now leading 11-10 over Paul Price and Anne Muir from Kensington. And still shaking his head there was Paul Price, because he was the one that ran into a Tokumo bowl and pushed it into the head to make shot of it there for the Victoria combination.
I'll put a ring around that 14th end, Brendan, because reality was that the Paul Price and Muir combination didn't really play a shot, really. 4 short bowls, and Muir trying to rescue. It was one of those, and they were fortunate. It was only 2.
Well, absolutely. I think it depends on obviously the outcome of this, but they may rue that end, the Victoria pairing, because that was an opportunity to get a rare big number.
Oh, the door was open there for sure.
They haven't scored more than a 2. There's only been 1-3 in the game, and that went the way of Paul Price and Anne Muir and just I think the 5th end.
So here's now Paul Price. Of course, Sarah Tokumo has played it first. Paul Price has come up short out of metre. See whether Tokumo bowl, first bowl, where it went to in but a moment. And still can't see where it went. See, trying to get some idea from.
There it comes. It
Laurie
just
Guys.
came in a shot there.
One bowl jack level, and the other one short of. I see them taking a close interest in the game next door, as we see Paul Price now on this, the 15th end, play his second bowl, and Muir's watching this bowl closely. It's going to get a clap from Muir, comes in behind the centre line, and that'll make shot. 11-10. Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy leading Paul Price and Anne Muir. And as Brendan said in the other semi-final, it's the Stevens combination of Bronwyn and Roger Stevens leading Craig Murray's and Claire Hendra. We're still about 4 ends to go.
Yeah, it's 14-10. Yeah, we saw the scoreboard just pop up previously to the Stevens. I think they've played 11 ends, so plenty of time and ends left in that semi-final. Not so here. We've only got an end to play after this one, unless we're, of course, still tied up, and then we will go to an extra end to decide this contest. See top left the scoreboard for the other semi-final, and the Stevens on the bottom of the board as they're just completing, by the looks of it, the 12th end.
Guy draws a toucher, moves the bowl closer to the Sarah Tokumo bowl, makes two of it. And Muir now trying to get down to the jack, or the bowl just slides by. The way the head's positioned right now, I know it's early on, but the door is open again. The way how the jack and the shot bowl are positioned opens the door up for Laurie Guy to be able to apply some pressure. So Anne Muir again trying to draw to the outside bowler Sarah Tokumo's to get shot. So they've caught those ends up now, Brenton. They now show 14 on the board as well.
No, they've only played the 12 ends.
Oh, over here on this, on the I thought.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about our board. Yes, yep. Yeah, so it must have just been a mistake.
So Laurie Guy now got a good arc on this bowl. This is where they come from. This is where the shots come from.
Oh, wonderfully done.
Wow, good and bad.
Yeah, it makes it viewable from the mat now, doesn't it?
Oh, there's no sense of mucking around with this, trying to draw it. You're just going to waste bowls trying to draw it. The door, while the door's open, you've got to try and get to that jack.
Yeah, I think she's trying to do just that, Anne Muir. Paul Price sees that she runs into one of the short bowls, was trying to get through. Port up front, being cleared a bit more now.
That's 3 shots that they're holding. Those
certainly is.
2 good bowls of Laurie Guys, and he'll try and make that run to the jack as difficult as possible. The Whangarei side trying to get right to the back, and he will do.
Yeah, great bowl. It's going to stay up.
That's staying right up. So, in fact, that's just about in direct line where one would think the jack would go. So, here now is Anne Muir trying to going to knock another Laurie Guy bowl up into the head. That will count as well.
Yeah, that's 4. Wow, a lot of work for Price to do now.
Well, he must be able to see it clearly now. One would think Brenton down on that forehand side, but is this the break end?
Oh, this could be a big moment. We talked about the last end when Tokumo and Guy had an opportunity to build a number, and they came away with 2 to take back the lead. But maybe it was an opportunity missed this time. Do they capitalise, or do Paul Price and Anne Muir deny them again? It's on Paul Price's shoulders now. He has the last 2 bowls remaining of the Kensington pairing of this 15th end. Tokumo bowling first, looking to add another one, I think, as cover. No point adding to the head and getting an even thicker target really for Price to aim at.
Well, it is a clear view when you look right there on the camera. On the forehand side, it is a relatively unimpeded run to the jack. Got to play it though with a lot of weight to make sure that you hold up on that
there it
centre
comes
line.
From Paul Price.
Close to getting something. How's that?
Oh, wonderfully done.
Now, is that ball going to stay up?
No.
It's a toucher.
It is a toucher. So, how close is that previous bowler Laurie Guys to the ditch? One down. One down. So
what a bowl.
Fantastic bowl. So, there is a lot of room to draw to, but she only has 1 bowl to do it, as Sarah Tokumo.
4 down.
Yeah, from 4 down, Paul Price has put them 1 up, and now trying to draw to the ditch, not going to be able to do it. So now Paul Price has the chance to put them up a shot. They're holding shots, so we'll level the game going into the 16th and final end.
It won't be an extra end.
Well, it won't be an extra end if that stays, but if he can draw to the ditch here, he's got a good, I think, 2 metres really for a second shot. Getting the instructions from Anne Muir is exactly.
So, on the forehand, after that splendid run shot played by Paul Price, get the jack into the ditch. Well, don't worry about that one.
Yeah, that's not coming back from there. So 11 apiece. It will finish. And going to maybe have a quick measure. No, they're not. They're not going to bother. I didn't think they needed to. So 11 all it is now. No extra end, as Kevin mentioned, will be needed to separate these two. Sarah Tokomo and Laurie Guy from the Victoria Club in Wellington. Paul Price and Anne Muir from Kensington and Whangarei. All tied up, 11 apiece, as we now play the 16th and final end of the semi-final of the national mixed pairs here in Alexandra.
Bit of discussion, because it's interesting to see now from Anne Muir asking Paul Price, what length do you want to play? So the jacks, the match right back on the 2 metre mark. So that indicates to me that Muir may want to go longer. No, she's not. It's back.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting now, because this is
a short end.
It's a short end. It's gusty, and
as you see, a couple of the umbrellas actually just to the left of screen, almost flying away, and they have to take them down, as otherwise it's a bit of a hazard.
So, two very experienced players starting off here, Anne Muir and Laurie Guy. And that's not a bad start from Anne Muir. Jack level, just a metre.
Very good start.
So Guy, Victoria Club in Wellington, 6 Wellington titles. Was the furthest he's ever gone in the national championship. He'd certainly love to be playing one more game.
Last end shootout.
Get an applause from, look at this, draws just alongside the jack. Does Laurie Guy, forces Anne Muir to immediately change her hand to the forehand. Certainly most of the bowls have been played by Muir on that backhand side, going up towards the Alexandra, or the town end here. And see where that went in about a moment.
Don't think she liked that one, judging by that reaction. We'll see where it ended up.
Short. So Laurie Guy now got the bowl out again on that wider side, which he did with his first, and that came all the way back towards the jack. Sarah Tokomo is looking at this bowl, gone back over behind the head. I'll be quite happy with that.
Absolutely, one close and one in behind. Good lead play. Now Sarah Tokomo's and Paul Price's turn. They'll play their final 4 bowls successfully.
What a bowl though from Paul Price on that.
Oh, surely he'll still have a spring in his step, won't he?
Certainly will. After that bowl, was he? Yeah, certainly played the shot to keep them in the game. That's for sure. Remembering, of course, that Paul Price was in the side that lost the semi-final on an extra end in the men's fours. So runs into the Anne Muir bowl, just knocks it in slightly closer to the head. So here,
intently watching this one, Sarah Tokomo.
Guys,
he's interested in this one.
Trying to urge it. It crawls its way into the head.
Could be enough for second. I think that might have been the signal from Laurie Guy as well. On the 16th and final end.
So Paul Price has got to be slightly under the line to get to the target area, just like this.
Oh, another great weighted bowl from Paul Price. Came up with an absolute stunner on the previous end. They were down 4 to grab the shot, snatch it back for the Kensington pairing.
Played that with the right weight to get the inside of what was the shot bowl. Sarah Tokumo will try and doesn't like it by the look of the hand signal, trying to turn the bowl into the head. Yeah. Surprised that MU didn't possibly look to get some back cover. See where this bowl of Paul Price is. Comes round past those. She'll be happy with that. That pushes the MU bowl. There we go. There's the indication from Laurie Guy to Sarah Tucker. Play this with weight through the head. On the backhand.
Trying to steer it on course. Might get into... Oh, might have... I thought the touch off the front bowl would have come straight to the jack, but it just missed the jack.
So MU saying to Paul Price, leave the head alone. Come back down here to the back bowl. Because we know what shot that Sarah Tokumo is going to play. Either jack or bowl she'll be endeavouring to get to. And Paul Price has done that. Got the bowl deep on the rink. Not the deepest bowl. You'll see a Sarah Tokumo bowl right under the number 3 number, and again playing for the bowl or the jack. Gets the jack.
She's got the jack,
but
and it's going to go
right to her bowl. Have a look at this.
Oh, right. Brilliant.
That's unbeatable.
Jack in the ditch, and that bowl, as you say, the deepest bowl of Tokumo, I think was her last one, has stayed right next to the jack.
And we spoke about that bowl.
And now it's almost like, what do I do, Hammuir? What do I do?
So the toucher has gone over here to the right. So really it's a matter of, is the bowl of Paul Price, is that second shot? Because if it is, Muir has to find a way to drive that bowl of Sarah Tokumo's into the ditch. Certainly not going to outdraw it.
No, I think that's the best option, isn't it? To drive it into the ditch, because it's not a toucher.
It only needs a touch, of course. It's sitting, I'm not saying it's sitting on the ditch end, but this is an unusual sort of shot to try and...
Because it didn't get a touch, did it, the previous bowl?
No, I don't think so. Because that bowl was just sitting up there, that bowl.
But that wasn't the bowl that was knocked previously from Tokumo's one and then came down there, but it didn't get touch on the jack. So
sure it didn't.
Pretty sure it's not a toucher. But maybe is there no way to get to it?
That could be possible. Well, don't want to touch this too big, Laurie. Have a look at this.
That was brave, wasn't it? How brave was that? You got shot and you almost knocked in what was, we think's a non-toucher into the ditch.
That was very, very brave.
Playing the shot that your opponent maybe should be playing. Now, it all comes down to this.
Not going to change anything.
I don't think so, unless you get a bit of fortune off the short bowls. It's not going to be. It's shake hands time. And the Victoria pairing of Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy are the first finalists at the inaugural Summerset National Mixed Pairs here in Central Otago. They have beaten the Kensington combination from Northland of Paul Price and Muir 13-11. They have taken out the Northland side, and wonderfully done by Sarah Tokumo. It was Paul Price holding shot with what was a very good bowl from him after coming up with a stunner on the previous end. Sarah Tokumo trailing. Oh, knocking the jack into the ditch right next to where she already had a bowl. Brilliantly done.
Well, she
And
was on
Victoria
target
through the final.
all the way with that bowl, really, to get one of the results. And if we look back, Paul Price played that huge bowl on the 15th end as well, when in fact they were 4 down and ran the jack into the ditch to make one of it, and then played a superb bowl on the 16th end to give the Whangarei side the shot. And then what a bowl from Sarah Tokumo, but equally the sort of frightening bowl that Laurie Guy elected to play, running into what was the shot bowl. But here we go again. It's a Victoria side into another New Zealand final. Lee Griffin played and won in the final, New Zealand Women's Fours. Here now in the final, we've got Sarah Tokumo and Laurie Guy of the Victoria Club in Wellington, who have just defeated Paul Price and Ann Muir, and now here they are through to a final. And of course they'll play the winner, as Brendan said, the Bronwyn-Stevens, Roger Stevens game versus Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra.
And I can give you quickly an update of that before we do leave you. Currently going the way of Bronwyn and Roger Stevens, leading Craig Merrilees and Claire Hendra 16-12, 3 ends remaining in that semi-final. As we leave you here from the Alexandra Bowling Club in Central Otago, we'll be back in around half an hour or so for the final of the Summerset National Mixed Pairs.